Hello and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Azeroth and Beyond. Today we have finished with the Burning Crusade stuff and we are now into the best expansion for World of Warcraft that there ever was, has been or will be. We are into Wrath of the Lich King. Now again, Jamie didn't play this, so he's missing out and he's just lying about everything that he's ever said he's done. If he's talking about anything that happens in any of these areas.
I'm off then. Bye.
But yeah, so we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to start... Jesus, your mount has gone into a fucking rave.
Is it raving?
And
It's
now,
not raving on my screen.
yeah, okay, you can watch the video later and you'll see it's settled now. We are starting at the beginning. We are starting with the mighty Naxxramas looming over there in the distance. Now, this is the second incarnation of Naxxramas. The first was back in good old vanilla when they introduced it as a 40-man raid.
A 40-man raid.
Must have been a 40-man raid because it was a good one. A 40-man raid just before the Burning Crusade came out, and there was a big load of quest lines over in the Plague Lands, and it was the most epic event ever until this expansion came out. So we're going to head inside. It's going to be another two-parter because, I don't know, it seems easier to keep things slightly shorter and snappier. So we're going to be hitting 3 out of the 4 wings, and then we're going to be seeing Kel'Thuzad in the next episode. And whichever wing we decide to leave till last, we haven't quite decided yet. So, Jamie, shall we venture inside?
Yeah, if I can remember how to get in.
Yeah.
I suppose we should say a little bit about what Naxxramas is. Big flying
metropolis.
There
we go. It's a unit from it's a base unit from Warcraft 3.
Yeah, Necropolis.
Yes.
And the Lich King has a heap of these, and they fly about. The Ebon holds one, I think. There's a few dotted around, and we have to go like in its bum.
They are lovely and flappy. But yeah, so originally, Arthas, the Lich King. Oh shush. Yes, I want to reset my recount data, and yes, I will put some poisons on. Originally, Arthas sent Kel'Thuzad with this particular necropolis, Naxxramas, to attack the human lands and kind of cement their hold over Plague Lands, and we had to go beat them off with special equipment.
What?
And yeah,
What?
You heard. And with a few new factions and all sorts of good times. And it was one of the best raids. It came after Anchorage, which was a little bit weird.
Yeah, it tied into the Ashbringer storyline as well.
Yeah, it did. It had a good old High Lord Darian Mograine, who those Death Knights among you may recognise as Lord of the Death Knights, I believe.
It's his son's Lord of the Death Knights.
Oh, his son's Lord of the Death Knights, of course it is.
Yeah.
There was a Mograine, I don't know.
There's 3 Mograines. There was a dad and 2 sons, and they all sort of ended up coming back as undead, some incarnation or another.
Yeah. And so also this is there are several bosses in here that have become Hearthstone cards and Heroes of the Storm characters. And so we're gonna probably flash some little pictures up as we go around because I need something slightly more interesting to do with the editing than just cutting between my POV and Jamie's POV.
I think there's some pets dropped from in here.
And there probably are some pets, so we'll bring back the pet counter as well.
So we're heading into the Arachnid Quarter.
The Arachnid Quarter, hence all the Spiddlies.
Yeah,
Spiddly.
Yeah, the Arachnids. Yeah, they're just spiders here, but there are the Rubians that we'll get to later as well.
Good old Nerubians. And some weird, like, spider sorceresses.
Sorceresses.
Yes. Sorcerai. Some lady sorcerers. That seem to do fire magic. I don't know why they would do fire magic.
For some reason, her lore is she's a botanist as well. So
yeah,
but we'll get to that later.
But anyway, but yeah, so we shuffle over through some spider packs. I remember this being a lot more fun back in the 40-man version, but hey. And we come across our first boss. Oh look,
it's for you anymore.
It's so much quicker than any of the Burning Crusade dungeons ever.
Yeah, there's no They're running
No
through mountains of
massive
trash.
amounts of trash. It's boom straight into Anubra Khan.
Who was Anubarak's second in command?
Yes, I believe so.
They were Spider Lords. They were like kings of the Nerubians. And then the Lich King, when he first arrived on Azeroth, when he was just Ner'zhul, before he'd merged with Arthas, the first race he defeated were the Nerubians. And he raised them back. They were immune to the plague of undeath. They didn't just get sick and die and come back as zombies, but they could be raised back with necromancy. So we killed them and raised them.
Because why not?
Yeah, I quite like Nerubians. I always quite liked having the Spider Lords when
Yeah.
we play them in Warcraft 3.
So so the boss fight is kind of straightforward, but then also not. So for most of the fight, he's spank and tank. Normally, you'd pull him over into this corner here and tank him kind of over by the door. And then on I believe a timer, he would spawn an ad, one of these crypt guards, and you'd have to kill that down, which is normally the job of the melee DPS. And then on another timer, he would spawn a kind of cloud of buzzing flies that would rinse your health quite quickly and would kind of chase the tank around the room because the tank would have to kite him around the room. Sorry, he would chase it obviously because he was getting kited. And the reason for that is because of this aura, and everyone else had to try and not die to it, which was easier said than done.
Yeah. If you imagine Anubarak's Plague of Locusts from Heroes, it's the same ability.
Yeah. I mean, basically this is Anubarak, except they use Anubarak later.
They used Anubarak in a dungeon, and then he comes back in...
They used him in the Grand Tournament,
yeah. I thought Anubarak always got a bit, like, shafted in the lore, because he was a really big character in Warcraft 3, and he was in a dungeon, and then kind of inexplicably you killed him there, which was a bit rubbish, and I think they felt guilty and brought him back, but brought him back really badly as well. But anyway, should we kill him?
Yes. Kill the ads.
Kill the ads. I don't think we're going to get to see any of his mechanics because it's all on a timer, as you say, as opposed to certain percentages of health.
And his little wing casing falls off. And ooh, dagger.
Not an awful dagger.
Mine.
You can have it, bro. I don't care.
Mine!
Mine. So we now go back through here, and then we go left through that portcullis.
Jamie, mate, we're not doing an audio guide for the blind. The adventurers go back through the tunnel.
No, they do.
Past the corpses of the spiders.
Through the left.
They take a left through the archway.
I was explaining that the portcullis was locked.
As they go through the archway, there is a big room full of more spiders. You have to make sure you say it in a perfectly emotionless way. You're not allowed to let your words influence their reading of the scene.
You're a dick. Is that better? Oh, more mobs.
Trashy.
That was cool. I'm getting pulled around by the spiders.
Yeah, they grab you with the webs.
They did like Spider-Man.
Anubarak's web wrap, but slightly different.
That would be quite a cool ability for him to have. Actually, it would be like if his
web wrap cocooned and pulled you towards him. Yeah. Be a bit too much like Stitch's hook, though.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right. So yes, more spiders. And then we get to the cult of the spider, or whatever they're called.
They're Naxxramas cultists. I think they're just Cult of the Damned.
Yeah, with Grand Widow Fairlina.
Cult of the Damned are just mortals that side with the undead.
That are ridiculously goth.
Here they come. I'll clear out the trash from up here, and then we can have a good look at Fairlina.
Yes. But yeah, so this boss doesn't have any established lore at all, I don't think. She's just a fiery wizard who likes plants and spiders, and so learnt the art of the fire so that she could master the thing which scares them most. I'm assuming.
Yeah, why not? That makes sense. That's as good a lore as any.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get this roaming spider pack as well?
Yeah, why not? Spider. These spiders really creep me out when you look at them from above. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They are quite creepy, actually.
They're worse from above than they are from the side.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at them from above now.
Yeah.
I'd never thought of doing that. I thought we might be able to get to do one of your cool cuts here with different named characters, but no.
No,
These
it's
are just
generic mobs with warlock gear on.
We just kill her.
No, I'm gonna have to get up close.
Oh yeah, of course you're invisible, aren't you?
And Widow Ferlina. You can get that sword off her, I think. If you stab her in the face. Oh, she's putting up a bit more of a fight. I'm having to press the buttons more than once.
Oh, I got an achievement.
You can tell Jamie's never been here before.
I know, I've done it before once.
Wow, not on this character. Have you finally... What achievement was it?
Mama said knock you out. Defeat without dispelling or preventing frenzy in 25 player mode.
Okay.
Of course, this was the... Was this one of the raids that you could put on heroic? 25-man heroic? This is when they started doing the different difficulties of raids.
I thought this was just 10 and 25 man. I don't think this had heroic yet.
But still, it had the varying.
I think heroic came in because I know they did hard mode in Old War, and heroic came after. I don't know. It's hard to remember.
I know. ICC had heroic.
Yeah, I know that had heroic.
Because
it had heroic 10 and 25 man, didn't it?
Yes, yeah. But the raids we did previously were all 40 mans apart from Karazhan.
Yes.
This.
No, 25 mans. 40 man died with vanilla. Sad times.
Now this was an optional 10 or 25 man.
Yeah, you could choose. Spider. So yeah, basically it's fairly monothematic, this wing. It's just spiders, more spiders. But it does have a really big twist at the end for the last boss, which we won't spoil for you just yet. We'll let you discover that in your own time as we unveil it, as we travel through the web-ridden corridors of Naxxramas. But yeah, surprisingly for somewhere that's so important, it kind of didn't have that much backstory. You know, obviously Kel'Thuzad is a big character. Oh yeah, so here's the big reveal. The end boss is a giant spider.
We fooled you because it's not really a twist.
It's not a twist at all. It's a wing of spiders with a spider boss at the end.
It's a really cool looking spider, though.
It's a very cool looking spider, and it used to be a bitch of a fight. And it was, basically, if it's something that I used to have to raid, it was a bitch of a fight because we'd have to be here every night until it was dead. Every night until it was dead. And I still have flashbacks sometimes.
No more spiders. Right, shall we? There's not much lore to this one, just another big ass spider, really, isn't it?
Yep. It's a big, dusty, cobweb-ridden necropolis, so it's full of spiders that made the cobwebs.
Shall we kill her?
Yes, let's. But yeah,
Spiders
she used to cocoon people in. I got that. Got a thing. Kill makes no within 20 minutes of Rubicon's death. Oh, cool. Yeah, she used to cocoon people in web wraps, and she used to send spiders out and spawn stuff, and you know the usual kind of things. While its direct ancestry cannot be traced, I believe the portal is related to Diablo.
Stop being tech.
But I love it so much. Right. Okay. What did we... Oh, Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh, there he is. He drops as a pet.
So, yeah. So, Mr. Bigglesworth here, if you leave him alone, nothing will happen. But dare you kill him.
just killed someone's cat, bro.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad doesn't get very happy if you kill his cat. So now we're in Naxxramas, going through the construction quarter, or the construct quarter, not the construction quarter. We're going through the construction quarter. No, get out of here. We're building.
Why are they New York?
I don't know why they're from Brooklyn. I don't know. It seems to be in every film. Like, there's New York construction workers everywhere. Maybe I've just been watching too many Michael Bay films. I don't know. But yeah, basically the construct quarters are where all the abominations and everything are made, as well as lots of other interesting beasties like geists and weird zombie giant things, and slimes. They love their slimes. And whilst the previous 3 bosses, so the Spiderwing bosses, were kind of tactics based, you had to keep people alive, this, that, and the other, you needed the gear to do that. The following boss that's through this room was basically Naxxramas' gear check. It was basically, do you have the gear and sustained DPS to be able to continue on through the rest of this journey? And if you notice, we just both landed in the slime, and our health has rapidly reduced down to about 10%. That's because that slime reduces your overall statistics by 90%, which means obviously your maximum health is 10% of what it could ever be. First few times we went through it, Jamie got a bit scared, but he's okay now. He survived. Okay. I love these guys. You get these awesome little like evil gnome guys.
They're like leper gnomes.
They're like leper gnomes, but they're like undead gnomes, basically. And then you got the mad scientists with their little goo backpacks and their lack of lower jaw. And you've got like the Mr. Jekyll kind of troll construct thing. They're pretty cool. But yeah, it's you were saying before we started, Jamie, that you remembered Naxxramas as being quite cartoony, but still good.
It looks quite cartoony, especially the construct quarter, but there's some pretty grim stuff in here as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. So this is the boss I was talking about. This is Patchwork, and basically he just did a fuck ton of damage, and required you to kill him within a set time that was very tight. And if you didn't have the DPS, or you didn't have the healing, or you didn't have the tanks, you were gonna die to this boss, and there was nothing you could do to stop it because there were no tactics. It was literally just tank and spank. There was a bit of tank swapping just because he put a debuff on your tank, but apart from that, yeah, he was just a bastard. Do you want to pull him over?
Yeah, I can do. I was just going to say, if I remember correctly, the lore behind him is he's made from the stitched together bodies of women and children, and the screams that you hear in the background of Naxxramas are actually the souls of those people trapped in this construct.
Oh, spooky.
See if I can. I'll maybe pull him over and then feign death. Oh, he's gone away now. That's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awkward.
It shows how little regard he has for us.
Yeah, it's just like, fuck you guys.
I'm back.
Watch out for the slimes. This used to be the Frogger race. Because if you hit the slimes, they would kill you. Don't hit the slimes, Jamie. Don't hit that slime.
I didn't hit it.
Good. Has he put a debuff on you?
No, he has not yet. Freaking out though.
He does do his DPS used to be man mega,
Yes.
Manic, I think is what I was going to say, and then I thought, is that the right word? But yeah, his DPS used to be very high, and he used to, as I say, just be a gear check style boss. But now he just kill him, like that.
He's dead.
Lovely mace there. Shiny mace.
Quite nice, actually.
And Patchwork's one of the bosses that his function didn't change really between the two variations. Some of the bosses got slight tweaks, but most of them stayed roughly the same. And Patchwork was very much the same because there wasn't anything about him to change.
No.
Do.
Watch out for the goo up here.
Yeah, stupid goo. If you can pull an enemy over, I can shadow step. Actually, can I shadow step to you?
If I can, give me a second.
Whee! Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. That's
Teamwork!
Cool. Teamwork. We did a
High
tactic.
five. Right, so this is another boss room. Just be careful, Jamie. He's walking around.
Globulus
So this is
over there,
Grobulus, who is one of the weirdest looking things. He doesn't have a face. He just has a tube and a syringe arm. Basically, what would happen is you'd fight him, and he would spurt patches of green slime onto the floor, and they would slowly expand, and you'd have to kite him round and avoid the slime. Seems simple, really wasn't. The slimes get pretty big, and the fight used to go on for quite a while, so most of the room would be covered, and if your tank screwed up, or if someone pulled aggro, that was even worse. You could very quickly find yourself in a whole lot of bother.
It was all about trying to get the slimes to, give yourself as much room to maneuver while still placing the slime down.
Yeah, exactly.
And thinking ahead a little bit so that you'd still have room at the end of the fight.
Hmm.
I don't think he has much interesting lore, however. He's just another weird...
He's just another weird beastie. He does... the mechanic he has has been in a few different raids where there's always some sort of thing that you have to avoid or kite around onto the floor. But
yeah, they reused in one of the bosses in... what's the last raid of Legion called? That's terrible. Let me double check.
Sunwell?
No, of Legion. Hellfire Citadel. Where it,
you mean that's not Legion. Legion's the new one that hasn't come out.
No, not Legion. Yet. No, sorry. I'm so excited for Legion. I think everything is Legion of
all
Warlords.
The Legions. Okay.
Okay, he's just looking down there, isn't he?
He's just looking at stuff. I will backstab him. Oh, he's bombarding slimes. See, look, it's just literally just a funnel for a face. You can't.
I think they really phoned that boss to sign in.
I don't know. It's pretty disgusting. Don't want any of these things. And then you basically become drain cleaner and work your way through the tunnels. Now this is
or not, or fall down.
This is where I'm going to put the in Simpsons, whenever they have an issue on the TV program and they cut to like the little drunk worker guy with the camera.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in until you come back. Oh, what the hell?
Did you just pull a boss?
He just teleported into the pipe. So now that Jamie has rejoined us, the next boss is Gluth. Now, we don't want to get too near him, as you may have seen. He does have a tendency to jump like a dog would at a tasty morsel placed in an easily accessible vent. But he is basically a zombie dog. I think we can just go and aggro him and just stand there whilst he attacks us. Yeah. Now, he is responsible for one of the favourite cards from Hearthstone, the Zombie Chow. And basically what would happen is you'd fight him, and then after a while he would spawn some zombies that would start walking towards him. There's one. Zombie Chow. And when they get to him, he would eat them, and he would get 5% health, I believe. And he'd also put a healing debuff on your tank. So basically your DPS would have to try and kill the zombies before they got to Gluth, and everyone else would have to kind of swap tanks and heal the tanks up and wait for the debuffs to go off. Now, there was another point where he basically spawned a massive load of zombies that all run towards him, but I think he does that at health intervals. So we might be able to trigger one.
I'll let you. You're probably better at tickling him.
No. No, wait. I was targeting you.
Did you try and backstab me?
No.
That looks like it might have triggered it. There you go. As he sort of barks, and then a whole load of them have run in. Oh no.
No, that's just him. He's just getting enraged periodically.
I don't think we're going to trigger it, do you?
No, possibly not. I remember there being more than these, but... Oh yeah, and he's got a hardened rage at the end.
Oh, pet!
Yay, pet!
Yeah, pet!
We're rolling for it?
I already have this one.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll let you have him.
Yay.
So I must have been here before, because I've got the pet.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at him.
Doi. Hang on. Get to an error. Learning the pet.
To learn your pet.
Yeah, I know it's weird. Oh, it's going. No, that one. Ah, it's little tiny Gluth.
Can't see him. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's so
the little
cute.
Gluth. Look.
He's so fluffy.
Big Gluth, little Gluth, big Gluth, little Gluth. Well, there we go. That's brought the pet counter back then. Yay.
Yeah. What were we on? Like 3 or 4?
4, I think. I don't know. I'll edit it in later. I mean, Mr. Editor will edit it in later.
That's the editing noise.
Yes, of course. Just Jamie has no idea how editing works. And then the pièce de résistance was the almighty Thaddeus and his friends Stalag and Fugan.
These guys are just like Frankenstein's monsters, basically.
Yeah, basically these guys are like Frankenstein's monster, and then he's like a Frankensteinier monsterer. I was going to talk about the mechanics, but still.
Oh, I thought we had to clear their mobs out first. Oh dear. So yeah, they powered him up, didn't they?
Yeah.
The lightning. Oh, sorry. Oh no. So what else has we done that?
No, it's fine. I think you still have to kill them both. It's just that what would normally happen is if you killed one and then the other ran out of aggro range, the lightning would wipe the entire raid. But it's fine.
It's fine. It was like a pre-boss fight, almost.
So yeah, you kill both of those. What would happen is you'd fight them, and every now and then you would have to swap sides. And don't kill him.
No, I'm not killing him.
Yeah, I think you would get thrown over. Your tanks would get thrown from side to side, and you'd have to try and the tank would have to get aggro back on him before he ran off the platform, and the lightning went and chained to everyone that killed you. Once you kill both of those, obviously the testicoils overload, and you get Thaddeus.
The what overload?
Testicoil.
It's a testicle.
No. What? No.
Yeah,
I know it's the construct quarter, but Jesus.
Dude, you, when we published this, you listened to it. You said testicle.
The testicle.
You didn't say Tesla coil.
The testicoil. Anyway, and then you get Thaddeus. So his mechanic was that the whole raid would get split into 2 halves. One half would get positive charge, and the other half would get negative charge. Now, if you stood near lots of people with positive charge, then as you can see, you got increased damage. But if you stood near other people, then you dealt damage to them, which meant that as soon as you got into the fight, you would be given a positive or negative, and you'd have to split into 2 halves and stay in opposite sides of him. It was quite interesting being a melee DPS in that situation, and every now and then he would change the polarity like he just did there, and that would change some people, not everyone, some people from positive to negative or negative to positive, and those people would have to shuffle, and as they ran past each other, they would damage each other, and then they would have to get healed back up. So it was a really fun fight. There was a lot of movement involved, whilst also simultaneously tanking this massive guy. And he's just a really cool looking model as well. Giant Frankenstein with his big stompy boots.
He is a cool looking model. He's not aged that well.
He's not aged that well.
He doesn't look that textured, if you know what I mean.
No, but then he's a zombie, so what do you want? And as you can see, he is actually slowly killing me. But
I think it's the combination of our charges.
Yeah. Let's kill him. Taking longer than you think because you have to press more buttons.
Yeah, we've got to the stage now where we kind of have to do things.
Yeah, he did have 15.5 million health.
Yeah, that's nothing now. So mobs have more health than that.
Yeah, but back in
I know
back in day. And again, there's another portal which may be related to Diablo.
Not related to Diablo. Drop Deck Arcane.
Oh.
Sometimes Phil channels the spirit of Deck Arcane from Diablo. I'm currently in touch with an exorcist to solve the problem.
Jamie, why are you going back to the Arachnid Quarter? That doesn't help anyone.
So military quarter.
Let's do military quarter last. Actually, let's do that in the next episode.
Should we do military quarter in the?
Let's do the play quarter. We'll get
do the play
the
quarter.
trash quarters out of the way.
Yeah.
So the plague quarter, as it says, is basically full of gribbly, plaguey business. So we've got slimes, we've got ghouls. There's lots of like insects and bats, and especially kind of like the menagerie. And I learnt what that word means since our Karazhan adventures. The menagerie of undead beasties.
Means fancy zoo.
Fancy zoo, yeah. Oh, you didn't kill him, Jamie. Now he's gonna get all
Sorry,
his
yeah.
health back. Oh, and now he's gonna die. There we go.
The gargoyles are cool. Gargoyles are still probably one of my favorite undead mobs. I really like them.
No,
You don't like them?
no, they're dicks.
Dicks.
Yeah, if you accidentally aggroed one, it was a fucker. People who've been here don't like him.
Noth the Plague Bringer.
So Noth the Plague Bringer. I'm gonna have to remind myself of his tactics. I remember there was lots of stuff about kiting him around.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I think he was one of the original developers of the Undead Plague. Hence his title, The Plague Bringer. Brings the plague. That's about all the lore I know for him. I don't think there is much there. He's an apothecary. Looks kind of like the Death Knight models, but he's not a Death Knight because he's not wearing plate armor.
Yeah, I think he was basically like a two-phase fight. You'd fight him down here, and stuff would spawn and attack you, and then he'd teleport up to his balcony, and other stuff would spawn and attack you, and then you kind of cycle between those two. Some stuff hit you harder than others, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, should we kill him?
Yeah. Oh, well, that went well.
Angry Dread. Let's have a look at that. No.
It's got a little face with a massive underbite. I'm going to magic you. And yeah, look, lots of maggoty things. Horrible, horrible grubs.
You see these sort of similar mushrooms in the plague lands in
Look at them. Yeah,
Azeroth.
this is basically like a little plague lands, like in a zoo where you get like people. These are the frenzied bats in their natural habitat. They've imported part of the plague lands in here.
I suppose this would have been where they did the original tests to make the plague lands the plague lands.
Yeah, quite probably.
It was like his lab.
Beasts with inflatable bits. And so this whole section was one of those constant respawning areas where it's just you could kill stuff here for hours and hours, and it would just respawn behind you, and eventually on top of you, and you would just be fucked unless you kept moving. One of those kind of gauntlet areas that resulted in a boss. And
I don't
that
really
boss
see those anymore.
No, and that boss was Hygen. Just through there, you can see him through there.
Yeah, I'm trying not to aggro him. I'm just going to stay here. He's just the standard Necromancer model.
Oh god. And you get he's bog standard Necromancer. He's a bit boring, but he was the originator of the dance Hygen machine. Basically, he would spawn. He'd have four. His platform was lethal, and in front of him there were 4 quarters, no more, no less, that would explode with slimy green goodness in kind of a pattern going from left to right and then right to left, and you would have to run across that and not die, and then his platform would become safe and you go hit him a bit more, and then it would swap around. And that was it really, but it was surprisingly difficult to get your entire 40-man raid or 25-man raid to move in coordination from left to right. Hence why it was kind of alluded to as a dance, because the coordination was very important.
Let's see if we can get it to happen.
Yeah, it should just. I think it's on a timer, so it should just be like, oh, let's aggro him by not hitting him, just running through his legs. He sees me. Let's just stand up on here. Fighting the Hygen.
Hygen the Unclean.
Hygen needs a shower.
It's one of the models that survived from
There you
Warcraft
go.
3. Ooh,
There was a bit of a boosh.
Bit of a boosh, yeah. It's the greens all come up,
Yeah.
hasn't it? There we go.
Yes, there you go. So this is the free section. Why is he following me? Oh yeah, because you had to kite him through it as well. His platform was evil, but he kept following you.
He is kind
we're
of evil.
failing. So you need to go in this bit, and that was safe. Now this side is safe. Oh, he's aggroed you now. And then you come back into this section. Jamie.
What? I'm in the right section. Just.
Just. And so yeah, I mean, I can understand how people had difficulty with this occasionally, because it is hard to tell where the lines are sometimes between the areas. Like, we're fucking this up at the moment, and we're...
Well, you've done it before.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh, it should have been in that far one. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Oh, yeah, you see, sometimes the lines aren't exactly clear as to which section you're in. So it was very useful to have one person just calling out which section. So you said someone shouting, going 2, 3, and then he would teleport over there and kill everything on the platform, and you'd have to wait and carry on dancing. Yeah, so it starts when he teleports. It starts again from over here. So now we're in this section, and he gets faster.
Super dance party.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Dance Dance Revolution, but Hagen version. I used to go backwards and forwards, and yeah, let's kill him because he's
we've
dick.
We've shown off how he works.
Safety dance. Without anyone in the thing dying. Yay. Sweet stuff, bro. And yeah, it was one of the more infuriating ones, because it wasn't that you died because he was a hard boss. You died because your raid fucked up. And that's worse.
That's how guilds break.
Yeah.
Because people just get frustrated.
I remember this one. And occasionally he would teleport people out into this room, where you just had to run back and try and get past the laser eyes, which are stolen off Cthulhu, and the maggots and stuff. So everything just keeps respawning.
Yeah, no, that type of raid is a guild break. Like, boss is a guild breaker, because people fall out over it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, Bill and I, we fall out all the time over raids. Nah, we don't really. We love each other, apart from when he sucks at heroes.
Which one's Wind Fury?
For all the weakness to Rattan.
Yeah.
Right, so is this a boss up here?
Yes.
Lower Theb. He's a fungal giant. We saw some fungal giants in Outland, didn't we?
Yeah. But not like this.
He's an undead fungal giant.
So he had a dot that he put out onto people. And he also put out spores that you had to kill to gain a damage buff for people who were nearby the spore when it died. And it was kind of like another DPS race, but a slightly harder one, because he would kill you.
Oh, hello, rotting maggot.
Oh, they're
hello, everything. Look at the little conga line. Oh, they're so cute.
That was the gayest sound ever. And I mean that in the way of saying that he sounded happy. So yeah, he had a necrotic aura that he would cast all the time, and it required everyone in the raid to have a sufficient stack of bandages, and all sorts of things, anything that you could use to get health back. Because remember, this is before one-time pot usage, so you could throw healing pots down you and all sorts of things, and bandages and whatnot. Because he would release a 17-second debuff that reduced all healing by 100%.
Yeah, he was
Well, thankfully, bandages and stuff and healing pots didn't count as healing for some reason.
No, they were for first aid.
Yeah, exactly.
Still a skill, I think. First aid. So double check.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, you killed the spores to gain. I think it was like 50% crit chance.
We'll see if we can get some of the spores to pop up if we tickle him gently.
And it did require a lot of coordination with when to use bandages and things like that. It was an odd fight. So there's a little death bloom dot. And an aura of necrotic healing. So this is the necrotic aura. So all healing would be reduced by 100% here. And you'd have your little spore over here, which we would kill.
Which has given me a crit chance increased by 50%.
Yay. Only you got that. Why did I not?
And no threat as well. So you wouldn't... if the tank, for example, didn't get the buff, you wouldn't pull aggro from it.
Yeah. A lovely fungal creep.
We kill him?
Yeah, and basically it was just a matter of balancing all those various different buffs, debuffs, and making sure the healing kept going. Oh, a little pet.
Oh, well, I let you have the last one.
Yeah.
Just
So
saying.
let's roll for this one
Should we need him?
then. No, you can have him.
Oh no, let's roll for it. Let's keep it
All
fair.
right,
Man.
all right.
Keep it fair.
Need.
Need.
Okay.
I
Yay!
wish I hadn't let you have
I
that.
am the pet master.
Let's see him.
All right, let me get him out.
He's probably just going to be another tiny giant, isn't? Yeah, he's a tiny giant. Oh no, he's not. No, that's still your doggy.
No, he's just a
Tiny
tiny Loatheb.
Let's. I bet his animation is going to be funny.
Wait for it. I don't know why he keeps looking to the right. What's over there, tiny Loatheb?
He's telling us that's where
What
we need to go to get to the next quarter.
No, but we need to go that way.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's the portal. I think your Loatheb's broken.
Yeah.
So that's us done 3 quarters.
That's three. We're literally done 3/4 of Naxxramas. Very fun instance. A great start to the expansion.
Yeah, it was a really solid raid. It was a solid raid in Classic.
It was a solid raid back in Vanilla. It's a solid raid in Wrath of the Lich King. It's still a solid raid now. It's still quite fun to go through and see all the Gribblies and interesting beasties and things.
Not much lore in the first 3 quarters we looked at there, but it gets a lot more lore intensive in the next.
Lore-tastic!
Loregasm.
In the next wing and the one after that.
Cool. So this will be the end of episode 1 of Nax.
Yes, episode 1. As usual, find more content, and joyous reviews, podcasts, and all sorts over at backwardscompatible.co.uk. Follow me on Twitter at _the_quietman. Follow Jamie at
Jam13Ross.
Follow the site at backwards.com. We are also on Google+. We're on Facebook. Find us in all your high street newsagents. We're near the top shelf, obviously. We're not actually at newsagents, don't look there. It's been.
Well, sometimes we visit newsagents to buy things.
Well, yes, no. Sometimes you might find us there, but you have to know what we look like first. Although I just gave you our Twitter accounts that has our pictures. Anyway, anyway, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, do all the usual. Comment on any other dungeons you want us to do after Nax. Comment on anything that you think that we should be avoiding. Something that you wouldn't like to see. But us in general is not an option. Sorry.
Sorry.
Catch you in episode 2.
Bye.
Bye.